Hey, what is going on, NFT Bros Podcast listeners? This is Adam, your host, and on today's episode, we have a special guest, Izzy from Highly Liquid. Izzy, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, your project, and then we'll kind of dive into today's episode.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, Adam. Really excited to be here today chatting with you guys. So my project completely started on accident. Started as a joke at the beginning of 2022. So I was working in the DeFi space, I would say for a couple months at that point, pretty intensely. Before that, had just been really interested in it, reading a lot, but I was actively working in the space. I was contracting for a number of teams across DeFi projects, NFT projects, marketing agencies, things like that. And I was up really late with a couple of my friends in Salt Lake City one night at a shared workspace. And all the guys were talking through tokenomics and token structures. And they kept saying over and over again, liquidity is the most important thing. It's all that matters. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. And for whatever reason, the next thought in my head was that I really wanted to make a pair of panties that said highly liquid on the crotch, because we were going to be hosting some events for the Solana community in a couple weeks. And I thought it would just be really funny to make the panties and wear them under a see-through dress at one of the parties. And I just started telling people just to see their reaction. I think I'm one of those people that likes to get a rise out of other people. And everyone just loved the idea, which I wasn't expecting at all. And people just kept saying, wait, I want to buy that. I want to buy 4 pairs. And I was like, what? And I sort of just kept shopping the idea around, talking to friends about it. And I had a few people suggest that it would be a good idea to connect the panties themselves, the physical items, to NFTs, very similarly to Unisocks, but not through a bonding curve, just where you have a limited supply, and then you redeem the NFT for the physical item itself. So again, just started working on it on the side, just having fun with it, was talking to more friends about it, and people offered to angel invest, and I really wasn't expecting that at all. And then now here we are. It's a full-blown company. We're Highly Liquid Inc.
Nice. Isn't that funny? I kind of have a similar story with Just Cubes and how we kind of started. It was just like a late night DGen conversation with some friends. And we're like, we should start something. And we just started spitballing and the idea came up and we just rolled with it. So that's awesome. I love how your journey has started and where you're taking it. Right. So I like to start off these podcasts by asking our guests to explain to me how they define an NFT. Like, for example, if you were to go explain this to somebody at a family gathering, how would you explain NFTs? Like, how do you explain them to somebody?
That's a great question. So what I say to people is that NFT stands for non-fungible token. And what that means, it is a digital item, a picture that exists on the blockchain, which is a type of decentralized technology that allows that digital token to exist forever. It cannot be changed. And the person who owns that item owns it. They own a piece of the internet. It belongs to them. It exists in their decentralized, individualized crypto wallet.
Nice. Awesome. I love that. And number 2 question that I like to ask all of our guests is, where do you see the biggest opportunity for the NFT space in the next 12 to 24 months? What sector, industry, specific thing? Maybe it's ticketing, maybe it's, physical items with an NFT attached to them. Where do you see that biggest opportunity in the next, 1 to 2 years?
So I'm personally really excited about the phygital space. I think the idea of being able to link physical items to the digital through NFTs is really going to be important for verification, authenticity, and ownership purposes. I think that is something it's something that luxury companies need right now. Like I always give this example. So if you're familiar with an Hermes Birkin handbag, those are some of the most famous luxury designer handbags. They cost tens of thousands of dollars. Some cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're very well known, as a status symbol, luxury symbol. But if you look at the history of Hermes, every time that company switched creative directors, which was pretty often. So if you're looking at different decades, like how these bags changed, from the 60s to the 80s, there are going to be minor differences on the handbags, like the stitching, where the logo was printed, the zipper design, things like that. And so it actually makes it very difficult for authenticators to properly identify these handbags. And what something like an NFT can do is, by linking to the physical item, make it very easy, it takes that job away from the authenticator. Like to this day, there are some handbags where people can't fully authenticate because they just don't know. So it helps people really like prove the luxury and the value of those high-end goods that they're buying and be able to verify that information if they're selling that item in the future, if they're passing it down to a family member. So for me, I'm really excited about the link for digital and physical, especially in luxury fashion. That's my background. That is the area that I love. But just as a consumer, I think what I'm really excited about NFTs and their potential is in the realm of consumer social. I think that in terms of creating gated online communities, having NFT access to those communities, showing ownership, showing clubs that you belong to, I just think it's a really fun use case. And I think it's a very natural evolution of consumer behavior on the internet.
That was a phenomenal response. I absolutely agree with everything you said. And, we're moving into the digital space as well with the whiskey company that I'm launching.
Yes.
We talked about that a little briefly. And I'm super excited about it. The luxury space, definitely there's going to be a ton of innovation there. What really intrigues me is the whole verification process and how that's going to actually be implemented and work within high fashion and luxurious items. Like I'm a big watch aficionado, and high-end watches get knocked off all the time. And so having some sort of a verification card that comes with the watch, or even I've seen ingrained, like laser engraved QR codes that you scan for verification inside of the back of the watch face. And I was like,
that's
wow,
crazy.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so it kind of, there's no serial number on the watch. There's no model number. It's all inside of that QR code that was engraved in the watch. And I'm really excited to see like where the luxury space takes it. I'm excited to also see whether or not these companies are going to individually embrace NFT technology and build within their own ecosystem, or if there's going to be one very large company that comes in and does it. Something like StockX, right? They do that verification, and there's a couple other ones, right? But I'm intrigued to see where the market goes and how it responds, and how these luxury companies kind of adapt to that in terms of how they're going to go about implementing this technology. Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think it's going to be like token proof for ticketing? Like, do you think it's just going to be one big one, or do you think they'll actually build out individual like networks and departments within their companies for this verification process?
I think it's really hard to call that. It's like always what VCs are trying to do, trying to pick the company that's going to be the category owner. I mean, I think that there is opportunity for an infrastructure company to take over from that regard, but also, I mean, I think brands are really important to consumers. I think people overlook that a lot, especially in the VC investment space. Like people are they're looking at quantitative information, they're pattern matching, but they're not really thinking about things that you can't really quantify, like consumer trust, brand plays, things like that. And I think that, luxury companies that have a really strong hold on the market and have created a lot of trust, not just over decades, but over generations. Some of them, I mean, Louis Vuitton was created in the 1800s. So those companies that have been around for a long time, that are the epitome of brand and luxury in our culture, if they're able to launch, NFT collections or create NFTs that verify their luxury goods, I think that has a pretty strong chance of owning the market just because of those companies' histories.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And there's something to this kind of thought rabbit hole. I go down a lot of these. And I love the back end of business. You'll see my whiteboard over here. It's about to get filled up later. Probably in the next episode, it'll be completely full. But I like breaking down the back end of a business and like looking at how things can be implemented, where inefficiencies are. And I think an inefficiency and or possibly, I guess, a place for vulnerability rather for luxury companies is outsourcing this type of verification for to companies that are new or just starting. I think there's a lot of trust issues in terms of like luxurious brands and being able to excuse me, and being able to like manipulate what you're doing with those brands. I think for the most part, the companies that will come to fruition inside of this space and doing this type of technology will be trustworthy. But I think there will be those bad eggs like FTX where
Totally.
something happens and some sort of fake bag verification thing happens, and
Yep.
I just, that's something that I foresee happening. Like these handbags and like even shoes nowadays, knockoffs are insanely good.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll be interesting because that's in my mind when we were starting to talk about this, that came to mind. I was like, that's definitely going to be a thought process going through these luxury brand, owners' minds and teams' minds is like, oh shit, like, can we outsource this? This is our brand reputation. If this
Yeah.
company fucks it up, so I'm going to be watching it pretty closely just because of the whiskey and like what we're doing. And I'm very paying very close attention to the space and like what Block Bar is doing. And I'm really excited to see more luxury brands come into this space because I think it's a great way to interact with your consumer in a different way than we've had traditionally, right? There's so much opportunity here to be able to reward somebody who has bought $100,000 Birkin bag, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, maybe you airdrop them the ability to come pick up a clutch. It's a gift, right? Oh, here's a gifted clutch. You can come pick it up with this NFT. Come in store, scan it, and you get it. You're in store, you're probably going to spend more money, you're getting something free, you're in a good mood, right? So I think there's a lot of ability to reward your consumer even more so with NFTs because you can track exactly what they own.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting thing. Yes, you can do that through emails, but fake email profiles and whatnot still exist. And I think there's going to be a ton of interesting things that happen in the space over the next 12 to 24 months, especially in this space specifically. Because
Definitely.
like you have burner emails, you have burner wallets. I probably have 30 wallets myself. And so being able to like track a consumer is going to be a very interesting thing. And I'm excited to see how that plays out and be a part of it myself. Right.
So I think to your point, thinking about how brands can use NFTs as a way to collect more information about their customers and to get to know their customers better. I think that that's also a really important use case because I think we're living in an age where consumers are incredibly savvy. They are as much as a part of the brand building process as people on the teams of these companies now. Social media has opened that up to such a huge degree. And I think that Web3 tech, especially NFTs, is kind of the next iteration of that. It's a way for customers to participate in brands more deeply than they ever have before. It's a way for these big companies to tailor products and experiences so deeply to exactly what customers want and need. And I think that the brands that are able to jump on that bandwagon the most, like the quickest, are going to be the ones that really like get a leg up in the next couple of decades.
Absolutely. And we're seeing this at, I wouldn't say an unprecedented rate right now, but the amount of big brands that are coming into this space to me is pretty massive, to be quite honest. Gucci's already here. Nike is absolutely crushing it with their acquisition of Artifact and like what they're doing. Maybe people don't love what they're doing, but they're doing something, right? They're trying to figure out how to do this in a way that, rewards the consumer as well as the business. And I'm excited to see how this industry kind of grows and changes and adapts to the consumer that is eventually going to probably be forced to use some sort of crypto or blockchain technology in the next couple of years.
Totally.
This is just the... Go ahead.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead,
I was just going to say this is like the future evolution of technology. This is the next step. This is where things are going. And I'm excited to see how it grows.
Totally. And I think what's interesting, you saying about Artifact, like not everyone's happy with what they're doing. It's going to be a challenge for brands because a lot of people hate crypto. A lot of people hate Web3. A lot of people hate NFTs. And I think that the smartest brands are going to be the ones that integrate this technology without using it as a marketing strategy. They are using it to improve the consumer experience. And I think the ones that do that in a very intelligent way are the ones that are going to last. So I think it's important too, like, we're looking at the shift away from the word NFT. People are saying digital collectibles. Like, I think Time and MoonPay just partnered, and that was like, they're launching digital collectibles. It wasn't NFTs.
Yeah.
They're not using that
It's
word.
not an NFT. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think like we need to think about going forward, what things are going to be looking like. It's important to consider how consumers, sort of perceive the whole crypto space and what changes can be made, and then how we can use that tech to make consumer experiences even better moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a great point. This came up on a prior episode. I forget who it was with, but where we were talking about what Starbucks is doing and their stamps program, right? It's NFT technology. It's on Polygon. Like, the consumers are using it, but they don't know that they're using it. And I think that's the best way to onboard a massive amount of users and get them used to using it without them knowing, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest opportunity for Web3 and companies within Web3 to grow as a whole for the industry is to provide solutions and ideas and products to the market that don't scream NFT technology, blockchain technology. It's just something that's in the back end. It doesn't matter how a consumer gets a physical product, right? The supply chain is the same, right? They order, they get it delivered, and now they have the product in their hands physically, right? They don't care about the back end being NFT technology or not, right?
Right.
To us, it matters because it's super beneficial for everybody in the entire industry. And so if you can use the blockchain technology in the back end without your customer knowing, similar to Starbucks, I think that is a massive way to gain a ton of users into crypto without them really knowing, but being comfortable in the space now, because everybody's so scared of NFTs that all they see is the media bashing NFTs and saying like, oh, people are making millions and they're getting scammed and they're getting scammed and it's a scam. And so I think once they get over that hump of the media kind of like portraying NFTs as a bad thing, to us realizing like, hey, we just need to use this in the back end quietly. And then I think the onboarding will happen and the mass adoption will come much quicker.
Totally. And I think like the important thing to keep in mind is, there are good actors and bad actors in any industry. I mean, even like, there are people who are plumbers who scam people, you know what I mean? And I think that unfortunately the crypto industry has seen like a lot of bad behavior, especially in 2022. And I hope that the most recent bear market will really clean out a lot of that bad behavior. But that's also just, it's important to keep in mind too, that the good actors are the ones who are going to win, and the people that do this right and create the best customer experience are going to be the ones that, build the companies that really last and like make a huge imprint on our culture and on our society.
Yep. I 100% agree. And with you bringing up the point of how they implement things and how they actually go about using this technology, I wanted to kind of bring it back to you and ask, tell everybody who's listening how Highly Liquid is using NFT technology and what, I guess, the future of the company looks like. What does your next 12 months look like?
So love that question. I think that we're different than most NFT projects in that, first of all, we're not an NFT project. We're building a global brand, and we're building something across apparel, tech, and food. That was always part of the plan and what we were doing. This was never, something that was solely a Web3 company, even though I really grew up in the Web3 ecosystem and learned so much from it. And that being said, like, we're not launching a PFP project. This project is about buying, part of our, you can be one of the 1,000 holders of our original collection, which is called the Panty Drop. These NFTs are on ETH, and they are going to entitle the holder. You can redeem your NFT for a physical pair of panties, and then also have special access to things in our Discord, being a big part of our brand, having like first access to future drops and coming to events and things like that. So it's really empowering like our first customers and the people who were our first community members and really believed in us to be a bigger part of what we're building, and using Web3 technology to do that. I think a lot of the brands, and this isn't like to shit on what anyone's doing. I'm just like, a question for me as a consumer is like, how are these PFP projects going to evolve, right? Because I think what every PFP project is thinking right now, it's like, okay, like people love our PFPs. We're just going to stick them on a hoodie, and we're going to stick them on a can of beer, and we're going to make a figurine out of it, and everyone's going to buy it. And yeah, I mean, it's what's cool about these PFP projects and these NFT companies that rose during, peak bull, is that they did create very engaged communities. And that was an awesome thing that they did. But I'm interested to see like how they evolve past that. And the way that we're thinking about Web3 technology at Highly Liquid, it's like, how do we create a fun experience for our earliest community members? And then how do we keep the fun going as we continue to build this global brand? So definitely not going to see a PFP project from us. I don't know if you're going to see other Web3 products from us. What I like to say is that we are a fashion brand backed by emerging tech. We're going to be doing a series of limited edition drops. Some good companies to think about are, Supreme, Mischief. They do limited editions of items, but ours are all going to be powered by a different branch of emerging technology. So we have some really fun things down the line. We're not just limited to clothes. We're going to be doing software products, like I said, CPG, food, things like that. And it's really about creating this global movement, which is more around our story. And where I really saw a gap in the market and what I was so excited to create, because I've been a long time consumer of streetwear, really in the fashion space, like I said. And I feel like streetwear and, edgier brands are all so bro-y. Like, I buy Supreme, but it's all guys' clothes, right? And like, if you look at the target markets of these brands, it's all dudes. And I see us having like a 50-50 split of men and women, and people of different genders as well. Like, I don't see us only targeting like one or the other. I just see the clothes and the products that we're going to be making really inspired by more of this feminine energy. I like to say we're bringing like the divine feminine into streetwear, where hyper feminine meets punk rock. And I just really don't see that brand story or that ethos like manifesting in any brands that I'm excited about right now. So that's like the bigger story and what we're doing. And the way that that manifests is going to hinge upon how our community members want it to look.
Absolutely. I agree. And I actually, so there's a brand that's kind of, I guess, expanding their audience, which is Playboy. Mm-hmm. And what Playboy has done over the years, they've kind of honestly kind of shifted away from like magazines and went into branding their, physical items. And so they have lingerie, they have a ton of men's items now for, things to wear around, as well as women, which kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to see. And the reason I bring it up is because I saw someone with a really cool Playboy hoodie on. I was like, that's dope. I love the colors. I kind of want it. And I went onto their website and I was like looking around. I was like, wow, they've really changed a ton. Yeah. And from the last time I remember ever visiting the Playboy website. And I was like, this is interesting to see how they've expanded and like just really grown their brand and changed things. And I think there's a big opportunity to bring, like you said, that feminine energy into new products that are exclusive, right? Like, yeah, I have some shirts that I wear that are like more feminine, but like I love rocking them. Totally. Like, I'll rock pink. Absolutely. Totally. I would rock Supreme... a sick, I don't know, box logo, Highly Liquid t-shirt or like hoodie or, whatever you guys drop, I'm going to be paying attention. And as soon as I see something I like, for sure, especially a first drop, I'm in. But, I'm excited to see like what you guys do with this and where your mind is at.
And so like, that's where I kind of like what you guys are doing and where you're coming from in terms of looking at the market, right? Supreme and Mischief, you said, and those two brands are huge, right? And I'm excited to see what you guys do.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see when you do it also. Like when's the first drop? What do you have? Like what's the plan?
Okay, so really exciting news. You guys are hearing it here first. We are doing our first special edition mini drop on Valentine's Day. So that's going to be 100 of the NFTs. They're special edition, special colors. So if you follow us on Twitter, we're at Highly Liquid Inc. You can join our Discord and learn about that first drop. You're going to be able to get the first NFTs at a discount too. So, and there's going to be some other perks for these early holders. So I'm really, really excited.
Heck yeah. That's a perfect time to drop
right?
it. Honestly, that's great.
I'm so excited.
I love that you guys did that. That's cool. And so those are going to be panties.
So there's different traits for our NFTs, just like any other collection, different forms of rarity. And the NFT that you randomly get on mint day actually shows you what color combination you get of your panties. So there's going to be different elastic waistband colors, different font colors, different bow colors, different body colors. Some will have rhinestones that are super special edition. Others won't. So you'll find out your rarity traits. And if you want to redeem that NFT for your physical panties, you can go to our website, which is highlyliquid.xyz. Go to that website, redeem your NFT, and then you'll be prompted to give us your shipping information, other important information that we'll need to send you your panties. And then that original NFT that you redeemed, the metadata is going to change because it's no longer redeemable, but you'll get something else that will be able to be used for, community building purposes. Like I said, special Discord channels and other exciting things that we're not going to announce quite yet.
Heck yeah. Awesome. I'm loving it. There's a lot of similarities into like what you're building and what we're building with blockchain bottles. And I like hearing cause you guys are we're not quite yet to a time where we can announce when we're going to launch. Mm-hmm. So you guys are a little bit ahead of us, which I love. Thank you for that. Thank you for, pioneering the way for me to follow and take what I like and use it. Cause I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a part of your community and I'm going to take things that I like and implement them in ours because I think that's really how you grow a great business.
Definitely.
Is take things from a consumer's standpoint and interaction with a business that is similar to yours and then implementing something similar in your own business that you liked because, if I liked it, there's a chance that somebody else liked it and you created it. So where'd you get your inspiration? Likely it's from somebody who did it before, right?
Totally. And I'm so excited for what you guys are doing too. So as I said on our first call, I love bourbon. I love whiskey. So I'm very excited and I can't wait to participate as well.
You will be on the whitelist. You'll get one.
Oh my God. Yay.
Yeah. I'm super excited about that. We actually, I'm not sure if I had this on the last call, but we have labels. It's just paper. It's just a paper label that's taped on there. But labels are going to print sometime this week, I think. I have a call tomorrow with the team about that. So I'm really excited for that.
That's so exciting.
I don't really have any other questions. Do you have anything else that you want to tell the audience about Highly Liquid or what you're doing in the future, or if you have any epic brand partnerships that you have ideated for the future?
There is so much stuff, but I can't quite announce everything yet. So I think the best thing to, say to everyone again, definitely just check us out on Twitter and Discord because that is where you can keep up with us in our journey and hear all of our exciting announcements first. So,
heck yeah.
But I'm really excited, super excited for the V-Day drop. So make sure you guys check it out.
Yes, that's going to be awesome. I will have all of your information linked in the YouTube description as well as the podcast show notes. So if you want to connect with Izzy and what she's doing with Highly Liquid, please, I encourage you to go do that. Click on her Twitter, give her a follow, give her a couple retweets, and go and find out more. Get that whitelist. Yes. Hopefully, are you guys doing a whitelist or
we're doing a pink list, not a whitelist?
Oh, yes. Okay. Very nice. I like it. And so you said there's 100
There's 100 on Valentine's Day. There's 1,000 in the total collection. So the other 900 will be available at another time. We've also given a few of our earliest supporters the opportunity to pre-mint. So our supply is down by a bit. Like, people have been buying, which has been really exciting. So that's an opportunity too. If, that's something that really speaks to you and you want to be part of our pre-mint, you can also DM me. But that link is super secret, so I'm not giving it out to everyone.
Nice. Awesome. So if you guys want that super secret, go DM her and give her something worth of value to get that, help her out, give her some ideas.
Yes.
Give her some feedback, and give her some love, show some retweets. I would love to give away a pink list if you would like us to give one away. So I can do that and look forward to seeing where this evolves and hopefully having you back on the podcast in the future. I typically like to give the last 60 seconds to 2 minutes to our guest to say anything else. We kind of wrapped up the episode with talking about highly liquid. So if there's not much else to say, then that's fine. We can just wrap it up. But if you do have anything, this is your time to shine. Your time to shill, rather.
My time to
shill. That's my nickname for this
I love
segment
that.
now.
I don't think I have anything left to shill, but I'm just really happy that we got to have this conversation. I'm so excited about what you're building too. Like I said, definitely looking forward to being a part of it. And I'm just really glad that we met and that you're having these really insightful conversations about NFT and Web3 tech. I think it's really important. And I'm glad that there are people who are deeply emotionally vested in this space, because I think that the stuff that's coming out of it is really important. And I'm glad that there are true builders here, continuing to make stuff happen, even in this crazy bear market.
Thank you. That means the world to me to hear that. I love hearing that type of stuff, and I appreciate that, and absolutely right back at you with that. So with that, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked today's episode, if you learned anything, drop us a review, drop us a like, share it. I don't sell sponsorship podcasts like sections on the podcast. I don't want to turn this into a monetization thing. I want to have genuine conversations with other builders in the space and talk about what's going on and my insights and thoughts on what's going on in the space. And so the only way to do that is for you guys to continue sharing and, liking the podcast and giving me some feedback. So criticism is absolutely welcome. If you guys didn't like something, please let me know. I'm finding my voice. I'm finding the flow to this. So if you have any suggestions, please drop a review, drop a comment, DM us on Twitter. Anything like that helps grow the show. So with that, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thank you again. Bye.